Welcome to Friday Friends, RI Elder Info's weekly look at the organizations and individuals providing resources for Rhode Island seniors, caregivers, and professionals.
Good morning. Happy Friday. Happy first Friday of 2024. This is going to be an amazing year. I am so excited that you are here with us watching Friday Friends, RI Elder Info's weekly streaming show where we bring you information that you or someone you know needs to know about. So hit the like button, the share button, help us get the word out. We are here every Friday having a good time, bringing information out to everyone. So we want to make sure that we get to as many people as we absolutely can. 2024 is going to be great. We've got a lot of amazing things coming. So make sure that you hit subscribe and all those other social media cues saying check it out, because you're not going to want to miss this year's shows. Amazing. So as you all know, I am Deb Burton, the host and executive director of RI Elder Info's Friday Friends. And RI Elder Info is a nonprofit here in Rhode Island. You can check us out at rielderinfo.com. And we are dedicated to getting people the information and resources they need. We could not do that without the support of our sponsors. So a huge thank you to Point 32 Health Foundation, United Healthcare, Neighborhood Health, Oak Street Health, England Studios, 321 Media, and all of the various multitude of donors who help support our work every day. We are so grateful. So this year, as in years past, I am really excited to talk to a good friend of mine and help get out some of the priorities of AARP-RI. Welcome, Miss Catherine Taylor.
Hi, Deb. It's good to be with you again, and Happy New Year. Great to start the year with you again.
Absolutely. I'd love having you on first because it really kind of sets the tone of what is coming for the new year. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure to be on.
Yeah. So what is new at AARP of Rhode Island?
So thinking about it's the new year, right? And a lot of us are making resolutions about how we might live a little healthier, just be a little kinder to our bodies and our minds and our spirits going forward. I thought that everyone watching might be interested in knowing about our Healthy Living virtual series, all the free events that we have available to everybody. And these are all online. And I know if folks are streaming, they probably have access to a device. And, you know, as you and I are talking right now, we're wondering maybe if we're going to get a bunch of snow and bad weather in the next few days. So maybe people are thinking they're not going to go outside, but want to find a way to be active. I just love to share with everyone our series of events that they can join. So we have a Healthy Cooking, a monthly class with Chef Mary from Newport Cooks, which is really exciting. I think our topic in January is going to be how to, knife work, which will be very exciting. And if you go, work with her through the years and sign up for the events, the recipe is provided in advance, so you can do your shopping and you can cook along if you want to. And we also record those so that if you've registered and you miss it, you can go back on. So
a not so secret fact is I am a horrible cook. I am really good at burning things, setting the grill on fire, setting off the smoke detector. So I'm looking forward to that show.
Yeah, I think Chef Mary is just your recipe. You need her. We also have a class called Everyone Dance, and that's led by Rachel Balaban. She's based out of Middletown. And this is an incredible dance class. It's anybody can take part, whether you're a professional dancer or whether you have limited mobility and you are in a wheelchair and still have the same wonderful experience. She's someone who trained in dance for Parkinson's, and she's led a lot of in-person groups with people with Parkinson's, living with Parkinson's, and their care partners. And so this is a great thing, as I said, to do if you just want some really exciting and soothing movement, or if you want to do it together with a care partner. It's great for caregivers and their loved ones. So that's Everybody Dance.
That's awesome. And you know, one of the things too about music is it tunes into a different part of our brain. And for individuals who sometimes have cognitive impairment, music taps into that and they'll be able to sing the lyrics and bring back memories. So I think being able to share that is awesome.
Right, exactly. And then just sort of tune into your body and feel, like a whole physical person, and no matter what your ability. So that's a really terrific one too. And Rachel is just a ray of sunshine too. It's a delightful hour to spend. So another offering that we have that's really good for body and soul, and anyone who can participate, no matter your ability, including your cognitive ability, is laughter yoga. I don't know if you've got experience with laughter yoga. Yeah, it's pretty great. Fun. It is really fun. And what people don't understand, they think they're signing up for maybe a comedy hour. And, there's none of that. It's laughter as an exercise to get your endorphins going. Now, it does, watching other people laugh, I can't think of anything funnier than that. And it is pretty wonderful. And it's a workout. So that we have Larry O'Brien, who leads that out of Providence. And that is another really good time. And then finally, we have our Tai Chi and Qigong classes. Those are moving now till twice a month. And that's Master Wu out of East Providence. He leads those, and those are really popular. So I would say all of these are free and open to the public, but they do require registration. So people can go to, this is very easy, aarp.org/RI events. And you just sign up and you'll get the Zoom link and you'll be able to attend. And what's really fun is these are open to anybody. And we have folks from all over the country come to our little Rhode Island healthy living classes.
That is awesome. See, you are worldwide, you're global.
Well, we have such great things happening here in Rhode Island. We want to make them available to all AARP members. Now, you don't have to be a member of AARP to join these events. I just want to make sure people know that. You can just sign up and register and take part. And you can check aarp.org/RI events regularly, because we add events all the time. And one thing that we'll do in the spring and summer and fall is we team up with the URI Master Gardeners, and we do a gardening class as part of our Healthy Living series.
Very cool, very cool. If somebody has a unique skill or talent that they would like to share with the world, can they reach out to AARP to discuss whether or not it's appropriate to offer it through at the AARP Rhode Island events?
Sure. I mean, I can't promise anything because we're pretty full up. And I will say this, what's really exciting about the way we deliver our programming is our volunteers actually run the Zoom and talk to people in the chat and make it all happen. So that is something too. If you have a unique talent that you want to offer the world, consider volunteering with us first. And again, we have a web page for that. And that's aarp.org/RI volunteers. We have so many volunteer roles, many of which you can do from the comfort of your own home. Again, another thing when it's, wintry out. So if this, come to one of our online programs, if you like it and you want to get involved with that team, please join us. And we have roles in the community when we're out at events, working the table to get information out to people. We have our advocacy team, which I'll talk about in a minute, which is very busy now that the General Assembly is back in session. And there, we have a speakers bureau where people can deliver presentations in communities, community settings, like libraries or senior centers or other organizations. And we give presentations on things like fraud prevention, preparing to care, brain health, Social Security, Medicare, and these are presentations that AARP has developed. So you don't have to come up with your own PowerPoint or anything. And
that makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, and if you're not into public speaking, but it's important to you to get information out, there are roles helping to book those presentations, or coming and being a greeter, or signing people in. So we've lots of different roles for everybody's interests, and you don't have to have gone to Toastmasters in order to be successful at that.
That's awesome. Very good. So there's a lot of different variety of opportunities, it sounds like, from your individual events in the community to doing some advocacy work to doing the back end of the different classes and offerings. It sounds like there's a lot. And, one of the nice things about volunteering is a lot of times I think we think or approach volunteering as I am giving, which is true. We absolutely do when we volunteer. But a lot of times I find when you volunteer, you receive such a sense of community engagement. It really can't be replicated in another way.
No, I think that's right. I think the sense of camaraderie among our volunteers is just unsurpassed. They just have a ball with each other. Plus, they get such satisfaction out of the impact that they're having. And they can see the real impact on people's lives from the things that they do.
Yeah. Speaking of impact, what are AARP of Rhode Island's goals for this year? What are we working on? Where could advocacy use more support?
Sure. Thank you for that question, Deb. Right. We have 3 top priorities before the General Assembly this year. Now, we just went into session on Tuesday, and we've been making our priorities known. One is to eliminate once and for all the state income tax on Social Security benefits. We're one of only, I think it's 10 or 11 states in the country right now that still do that. Social Security benefits were never meant to pay for state programs. They're supposed to support older people in retirement.
Yep.
And so we want to get rid of that. So that, I think, is a very important thing to do. The state has partially eliminated it in a couple of steps over the years. So people at very low levels of benefits, a certain portion is exempt now. Mm-hmm. But we want to eliminate all of it to make sure that we aren't chasing our retirees to other states where they have to pay fewer taxes. And that money will go right back into our economy and be good for everybody. So that's.
I think sometimes we forget that older adults are active contributing members to our economy to the tune of billions of dollars nationally.
Billions of dollars. Yeah. We have a whole sort of fact sheet on the longevity economy and the contributions of older adults. And, it's amazing because, you think of all the things that make Rhode Island tick, our arts economy, our restaurants, our tourism, all of those things. You really want people who have free time and little disposable income. And who's that? That's retired people. And,
absolutely.
Right. And we want to make sure that our older adults are really engaged too, because without them, we would have, very little in the way of philanthropy or volunteerism or free childcare for our grandkids, right? There's just so much that we really need our older folks contributing, making happen. So helping them out with their taxes is a way to keep people here and engaged. And then related to that, our second of our top 3 priorities is, and I should say too, there are 35,000 Rhode Islanders that are still getting taxed on their Social Security benefits. So this stands to help a lot of people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Every dollar counts.
Every dollar counts. So the second thing that we're trying to get done is to establish a way for the 172,000 Rhode Islanders who don't have a way to save for their retirement through their work, a way to have an automatic payroll deduction into a 401k sort of instrument. These would be their own accounts, move with them from job to job. It's not a pension fund or anything like that. And all the employer would have to do is hand over the information that would come from the treasurer's office and set up a one-time payroll deduction. And then, folks who are not saving for retirement could then start to put some money away. And this is estimated over a number of years to save the taxpayer $500 million in public benefits, because people will have their own money in retirement and
Right.
won't have
Right.
to, go onto Medicaid or other things. So
Right.
this is really, really important.
Is
And
that considered voluntary or mandatory for the individual to participate in it?
totally voluntary, totally
Awesome.
voluntary. It will be mandatory for the small business to give the information and
Yep.
to establish the one-time payroll deduction should the employee choose it.
But it doesn't force small businesses or large businesses for that matter to match that
No,
contribution.
no,
Okay.
no. And in fact, there are some technical tax reasons why that wouldn't be allowed in this setup. So it's
Okay.
really, yeah, yeah. So it's a win-win situation. It's also really great for small businesses because they can offer this benefit and be
Yep.
competitive and get the best employees to stay with them. And we've heard, we did a survey last year of small businesses and found that about 3/4 of small business people would really like this option. So we're hoping to get that done this year. And then finally, we are hoping to get local regulations loosened up a little bit so that people have the option to build an accessory dwelling unit, which people might know as an in-law apartment or a granny flat or a carriage house apartment on their properties, so that a number of things can happen. Say you're living in your own home, but you need some caregiving help and you want some space for the caregiver to be. You could use the accessory dwelling unit, we say ADU for short, for that. Say you're living in a big house where you raised your big family and you are done with that and you want to move into something smaller, but you love your neighborhood, you love your neighbors and everything's nearby and familiar and maybe it's a walkable neighborhood. Well, wouldn't it be wonderful to build an ADU on your own property and move into it and then either rent out your house to a young family that needs the space, or maybe turn it over to your own young family who can't find a house to buy. So that's another option. Or maybe you're on a fixed income and you need the rental income in order to pay your property taxes or your long-term care bills or something like that. There are just a lot of different ways that as families grow older and change, that this option would be really, really helpful and just be an incredibly important tool for in the toolbox for solving the housing crisis. I'll say there
Absolutely.
too, one of the many reasons this is such an important bill to pass is that AARP's long-term services and supports scorecard that was just released last fall ranked Rhode Island 51st in the country, dead last in the availability of housing for older adults. So
I
this is
100% believe that. I get
it is
those calls all the time.
Yep, it is a horrible crisis. And ADUs don't solve everything because they're not cheap to build. So but it will be a part of the solution and a really important part. So we're hoping to get that done too.
Now, isn't there some kind of legislation on the books around this, or is it an added piece to the existing legislation? I know I've cheered for this in other
Yeah.
years.
So there was a law that was passed years ago that that said you had the right to build an ADU for a person over 60 or a person with a disability if it was in the existing footprint of your dwelling. You couldn't by right build a separate one. But here's the kicker. And here's why people didn't take advantage of it. Once that person didn't need the ADU anymore, maybe needed to move to a nursing home or maybe passed away or moved away, you had to take it all apart. So who's going to invest tens of thousands of dollars into building an apartment that you're going to have to destroy at some point? So we went back to the legislature to fix that, and we did pass a new law, not this past year, but the year before in 2022. And it still is creating a bit of confusion among the municipalities. So it needs to be cleaned up so that they really have clearer marching orders. So we're working with a lot of stakeholders right now to make that, to get a bill passed that will work for everybody.
Awesome. Awesome. I'm looking forward to cheering for it because it's needed.
And if folks want to come and get an idea of what an ADU could look like, I have one last invitation. And again, you can go to aarp.org/RI events. We're having an in-person event at the Rhode Island State House in the State House Library at 3:00 on Thursday, the 25th of January. And we, AARP Rhode Island and the Rhode Island School of Design Interior Architecture program, teamed up last November, and all the architecture students entered an ADU design competition. We are going to show the designs that they created and have a press conference talking about, really what ADUs are and how they can really meet people's needs.
That sounds wonderful. And that's on Thursday, the 25th?
Correct. 3:00 at the State House.
Oh, all right. That sounds great. I will put that on my calendar because I think that'll be fun. I'm a lover of the TV show Tiny House Nation. I hear from older adults on a regular basis that I don't need this big house. I don't want the big house, but there's no place for me to downsize to.
Correct.
And so this could potentially offer an alternative where they can stay where they're at and, work it out so that they can literally stay where they're at, aging in place, and have a caregiver or family member or rental income in their existing large house. So I think this is wonderful.
Yeah, it's really important. And the reason that a standalone option is important is because think of it. If you build an apartment in your house, where's it going to go? It's going to go in the attic, on the second floor, in the basement. And what do we have to contend with there? Stairs.
Yep.
And same thing with the tiny house movement. If you look at a lot of the tiny houses, they still have stairs. So you really want the option for people to build something that is, no stairs, universal design, so that it works for everybody at every stage of life.
Yes, absolutely. So those are the 3 big priorities. Mm-hmm. You guys have a lot of amazing events coming online. How can people reach you if they had questions, concerns? Should they go to the website? What works best?
Come to the website, aarp.org/RI. Again, aarp.org/RI events or aarp.org/RI volunteers. All of our contact information is on there. For the different volunteer teams, there are different members of my staff that you can email to learn more. And that's the best way to do it. And we just encourage everybody, come check out our events. Come find us in the community. As the weather gets nicer, we're going to be out and about everywhere doing all kinds of things. Keep coming back to our events page to see what we've got, in store. And we just love to see all of your viewers.
Awesome. I am so glad you're able to come on today. It's, first Friday of the year with 1,000 things happening all at once. So I'm so glad that you were able to take the time to come and join us today. Again, I love having you kick off our year.
Thanks. It's a great opportunity and I really appreciate it. Happy New Year, Deb, and Happy New Year to everybody watching.
Thank you. Everybody, AARP provides tremendous information and resources for folks. I really do encourage you to check it out. The housing issue is a real one, and we need some support around that because we need more housing, yes, but we need housing that fits what we have going on in our lives. So I really encourage you, reach out to AARP of Rhode Island. They're doing some really amazing things. So I look forward to seeing you all again next week. 2024 is going to rock the house. In the meantime, be well and be kind and be safe in the snowstorm.
If you like this video, please follow us on social media and subscribe on YouTube. For more information, visit rielderinfo.com or call 401-585-0509. If you have any questions, email deb@rielderinfo.com.